All right, what if I told you the React team just dropped a brand new component? One that could literally fix some of your most annoying UI bugs and make your app feel blazing fast. Well, stick around because that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. Hey everyone, welcome back to Build Bytes Daily. Today we are going to break down a brand new, and I mean game-changing component called Activity. It's designed to solve some of those super common headaches we all run into with React. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Okay, let me ask you something. We've all been there, right? You spend ages building this beautiful UI. Maybe it's a complex form or a sidebar with all these nested menus, and it works perfectly. But then, the moment a user clicks away or switches a tab, poof, it completely resets. The perfect scroll position, gone. The paragraph they were typing, vanished. It is so frustrating, and it all comes down to one simple little thing. So this slide right here gets straight to the heart of it. The way we've been doing things, with a classic and operator, it doesn't just hide your UI. It completely unmounts it, kicks it right out of the DOM. And that means its internal state is totally destroyed, the DOM state is reset. It's like a full reboot every single time. But Activity, well, it takes a totally different approach. Instead of unmounting, it simply hides the component. It's still there, preserving all its state and the DOM, just waiting to be shown again. Okay, so let's formally introduce the hero of the hour, the Activity component. This is React's official, shiny new solution for preserving state when you're just trying to toggle some UI. So how does it actually work? Well, it's actually super simple. Think of Activity as just a wrapper. You put your UI inside it, and when you want to hide it, React doesn't remove it from the DOM anymore. Instead, it just slaps on a display.none style. That's it. The component is visually hidden, sure, but it's still mounted, just hanging out in the DOM, holding on to all that precious state. I love this analogy because it's perfect. The old way, that's like a hard shutdown on your computer. When you turn it back on, all your apps are closed, everything's gone. But Threads, that's like putting your computer to sleep. You wake it up, and boom, everything is exactly where you left it. It's literally hibernation for your components. All right, so let's dig into the first huge benefit here, giving your UI a memory. We're talking about finally fixing those super common, super annoying user experience issues we all hate. And we'll start with a classic. Yep, you guessed it, the good old collapsing sidebar. I mean, come on, every single web app has one, right? You've probably built 100 of these things yourself. Okay, so look at the left. That's the old way, that is showing sidebar and sidebar. Simple enough. But here's the problem. Let's say you have an accordion menu inside that sidebar. The user expands it, finds what they need, then they close the sidebar and open it again. What happens? That menu is collapsed again. The state is completely lost. Now look at the right. The code change is tiny. We just wrap our sidebar in Activity and toggle the mode prop. That's literally it. And the result? It's a huge win for the user. That expanded menu, it stays expanded. The scroll position they were at, it's exactly where they left it. All of a sudden, the UI just feels smarter, It's way more intuitive and a whole lot less frustrating. Okay, next up. Oh man, this one drives me crazy as a user. Picture this. You're filling out a form in a tabbed interface. You're typing this long, thoughtful message into a text area, and then you just quickly click over to another tab to double-check a phone number or something. And when you click back, your message is gone. We've all had this happen. So why does it happen? Because the old way unmounted that entire contact component, which means it destroyed the actual text area DOM element. And with it, all that ephemeral state, that's the text you're typing that isn't saved in React state yet, was wiped out. But with Activity, since it's just using display.none, the actual DOM node never went anywhere. It was just hidden, which means the text they were typing is still right there, safe and sound. Awesome. But here's the thing. Fixing the user experience is honestly just half the story. This is where it gets really, really cool. What's truly exciting is how Activity can be used to supercharge your app's performance. And this goes way beyond just saving state. So, the first big performance win here is something called pre-rendering content. Think about it. This means we can start preparing content that we think the user is going to look at next. That way, when they finally do click, boom, it's just there. Instantly. Say goodbye to loading spinners. So how does this magic actually happen? Let's walk through it. First, you render your component inside an activity tag, and you set its mode to hidden. Simple. Now, even though it's totally invisible, React starts rendering it in the background at a low priority. And here's the key. This means the component can start fetching its data right away. So by the time the user actually clicks to show that UI, guess what? The data's already there. The component is ready to go. It just pops into view instantly. Okay, now there is a really important gotcha here, and you can see it in that last bullet point. This whole pre-rendering thing does not work if you're fetching data in a good old useEffect hook. And the reason is simple. useEffect only runs after the component has mounted and been painted to the screen. Since our hidden component is never painted, well, the effect never runs. This whole technique really relies on suspense-based data fetching to work its magic. All right, the second big performance win is a bit more advanced, but man, it is powerful. It's called selective hydration, and this is all about making your app feel interactive, like super fast on that initial page load. So when your app first loads from the server, React has to do this thing called hydration. That's basically just attaching all the JavaScript to make the static HTML interactive. Normally, this has to happen for the entire page all at once. So if you have some big, heavy component on the page, it can block everything else. Your buttons and links feel dead until it's done. But by wrapping that heavy component in activity, you're basically telling React, hey, hydrate the important stuff first. This lets your main navigation and buttons become clickable almost instantly, while the big stuff finishes up in the background. It's a massive win for what we call perceived performance. Okay, so this component is obviously super powerful, but it does introduce a new way of thinking. Because we're hiding things instead of unmounting them, there are a few important gotchas you absolutely need to know about, especially when it comes to side effects. So, what's the catch, right? There's always a catch. If we're not actually destroying the component, does stuff, just linger around? And the answer is yes, sometimes it does. And the reason for these gotchas is really simple. The DOM itself is preserved, so the browser's default behaviors for some of those elements can just keep on going, even when they're visually hidden with display none. And here are the usual suspects. The big one is a video or audio tag. Imagine a video is playing, and you hide it using Xactivity. Guess what? The audio is going to keep right on playing in the background because the DOM element is still there. The same thing can happen with stuff going on inside an iframe. Thankfully, the fix is actually pretty straightforward. If you look on the right, you'll see you just need to use an effect that has a cleanup function. We're using use layout effect here because it runs right before the browser paints, which makes sure the video is paused just before it disappears. So when the component gets hidden, React automatically runs that cleanup function, and that's your perfect opportunity to call video.pause. Problem solved. Okay, let's bring this all home. We know what it is, how it works, and what to watch out for. So the big question is, when should activity become your new go-to component? So here's your cheat sheet. You want to reach for activity anytime you need to preserve form state. Think about that text area draft. You should use it to keep the internal state of your components, like those sidebars and accordions. And you should absolutely use it when you want to preload content to get that snappy, instant navigation, or to speed up your initial page load with selective hydration. It really does cover both UX and performance in one awesome little package. So I want to leave you with this final thought. Just think about your own apps right now. Every single place where you currently have a loading spinner, that is now a potential spot for an instantly appearing UI, all powered by a hidden activity component. So the question is, where are you going to use it first? And that is a wrap on React's new activity component. Hey, if you found this explainer useful and you want more deep dives into the latest tools and tricks in web dev, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe to Build Bytes Daily. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.